Hey folks, just a little quick discussion about autoimmune disorders again. So, autoimmune disorders, it's theorized that much of what you eat, if there are things like if they're modified foods, if they're foods high in lectins, if they're processed foods, many of those foods tend to cause leaky gut syndrome. Leaky gut syndrome um, results in your body trying to protect you from yourself, and it creates antibodies from the thing that it's been exposed to that makes its way outside of the confines of the gut. Nothing really should nothing that you put in your mouth should actually get outside the confines of your gut. It's the reason that your body then creates antibodies against those. But here's the problem. You've been doing that for a long time. So you've been eating, let's say, some of those foods that's high in lectins, for example, peanuts, cashews, right? For decades. So your body had been working on creating antibodies for all of those things for decades, which means that you run the risk of creating an antibody that looks like your thyroid, or looks like your liver, or looks like your lung, or looks like your bone. And so at a certain point, the body doesn't know if the your liver or your thyroid is a foreign thing that you've eaten for decades, so it begins to attack it, giving you an autoimmune disorder. And again, that's the reason that people would say that if you have one autoimmune disorder, you probably have another one, right? Because you've been doing the same offensive thing to your system for a very long time. And here's kind of a little trick. If you eat certain foods and you kind of know what they are already, right? And you have lots of phlegm, it's one way. Or you feel bloated, or you're feeling belly sort of distended. You feel your gut is unwell. You feel somewhat nauseous, and perhaps even the next day, right? You feel achy, like you ran a marathon. You feel your joints hurt, your back hurts, your head hurts, your brain is sort of foggy. Then perhaps those foods you should probably leave off of your list, because it doesn't get better for you with those kinds of foods, right? So it's a little way of kind of knowing what foods are essentially caustic to your system, and your body again is really trying to protect you from those things. Food, and I'll put a link in the bottom of this video, but foods that are high in lectins, yes, they will cause that problems. And I'll tell you, there'll be a medication for your autoimmune disorder, whether Hashimoto's or Graves' disease or some other autoimmune disorder. There'll be medications for them, but right, it's not solving the issue, right? You have to then realize the kinds of foods, and again, foods high in lectins, processed foods, modified foods, high gluten foods, GMO foods, those things tend to cause you some problems. So do your best. It'll do you it'll do you well if you can either reduce or eliminate those foods from the diet. Yes, listen to your doc and take your pills that they give you, right? But it's not the solution to the issue, right? It's not the solution. It's really watching those things you're eating, and then you take them out of your list if they're causing you a problem. If it offends you, get rid of it. Thanks for listening.